Hey guys, this is Blue One with my 10th, I believe, plugin tutorial. I can't believe I never remember this. Today I'm going to be teaching you a very interesting thing. This will be about configuration files. Now these are extremely useful because not only are they easy to create, but they can permanently store information. So it makes it 10 times better than any array list you've ever made, because an array list will only store it for just a little while, whereas a configuration will actually store it. Like I said, it'll store permanently until you've edited it, of course, or until you've changed it from inside the plugin. So let's get right on this. This is a fairly simple thing to do. For now, we'll just create the main class here. I've already created plugin.yml and written that out since you know how to do that by now anyway. So we're going to have extends Java plugin. I'm going to do a little explaining along the way for somebody who might be needing it, somebody who could use this tutorial, who I'm specifically doing this for. So on extends Java plugin, we're going to have @override annotation, and then we're going to have public void on enable. Oops, that's not, there we go. And we won't have, yeah, we will, we just will get console sender send message. I wasn't going to, but I'll just make an easy one, just because I want to be fast with this, get it done quickly and simply. Don't want to be spending quite as much time as I have been on the tutorials. I want to make them a little shorter for you guys so it doesn't take up quite so much of your time. I don't want to slacken my explaining while I'm doing that though, so let's try this out. Right here, a very important thing to do. In your main class, in your onEnable method, when you enable it, you want to have save default config. It's a method all by itself. You won't need to import anything. Just type it out, save default config, and that will save whatever the configuration is at the moment. The reason you have it in onEnable is so that anytime it's reloaded or started, it automatically saves the configuration and you have zero chance of it being lost. Unless, of course, there's some major error in the configuration, like it doesn't have something that has to be there. For now, though, all you really need to know is this needs to be here, and it saves what the configuration is when it gets enabled. Okay, so save default config, we'll save that. Now over here, remember how you create the plugin.yml by selecting your project, right-clicking, and go down to, where is it? Oh, new file. This time, instead of plugin.yml, you'll create one called config.yml. It's just another YML file. It's nothing special. And right now you won't need to put anything in it. That's just so that we can have it here. So as this should actually work. Now I know it doesn't do anything at the moment, but let's just show you what it does. We're going to refresh it because anytime you change a file over here you need to refresh. Then export Java jar file. We're going to browse. We're going to find our server, which actually we'll just put it instead of the server we were in before. We're going to abandon that. We're going to go directly to my server, put it in here. This is where I make servers and test them out. So right here we're going to put config. That's what it'll be named. Alright, we ready? Finish. Alright, nothing went wrong there. So here's where we're at. We're going to just reload this. Just clear the chat while we're at it. Alright, ignore this wall here, and let's get right to business. /PL shows that we do indeed have config properly loaded, and as it doesn't do anything, let's just check this real quick. This is our console here. Upgrades. Now it was white. It was white, so we have to look for it. Config. There it is. We've got it. Alright, so what we're going to do now, in order to see what we've actually done, we'll go to plugins, and right here is the data folder for the plugin. We double click that. Here's the configuration file. Of course it's empty because there wasn't anything in it, but you know, what can you really expect? So now what we're going to do is we're going to put something in it. This is what will by default be inside the config.yml. A lot of people will say that you have to on enable. If it doesn't have certain values, then you have to create sections and create values, and that would be a big mess. It would be get config and then dot create section, and then you'd have to create every individual little bit. Well, you don't have to actually do any of that. A very easy way to do this, and this is why I love this, because nobody taught me this. I found it out on my own, and people that I ask about it, most of them don't seem to know it for some reason. Open up your config.yml. Let's create a few things here. We'll create players, and we'll use this later. We'll go for, oh, I don't know. What should we add? Players, we'll just list all online players inside of players, but for now we'll also create name, I suppose, and then inside that you can put number and something else, I guess. Now, an important thing to note is you cannot have spaces in here. It doesn't work. You can have a dash, you can have an underscore, you can have just a capital letter there, you can have a symbol, but you cannot have a space. It doesn't like spaces in the middle of values and sections and stuff. So we'll just have name, number, something else. We'll save this now. That's our default config. That's what it will save right here. That will be in there when it creates the new configuration. So let's remember to refresh this. Export, next, finish, yes, and now in order to actually get it to show up, you have to delete the configuration, so we'll just get rid of the entire data folder. There we go. Now we'll reload this, and as soon as you've reloaded it, it's created it. So let's go over here, open up config, and there it is. Pops up. This is what we just made. This is what was just created by the plugin by reloading it. So as you can see, it's exactly the same. All it did was it saved the defaults. And in another tutorial, I will show you how to edit what's in the plugin from different areas in the plugin, and that will be how to create new sections, how to load things to the section using players' names, using integers, strings. You'll be able to set locations inside it, so that'll be a lot of fun. I love being able to set a location to a file, because then you can do things like create a hub plugin where you can set the hub. Oh, and this is a nice little village here, by the way. It's a friendly place. Oh, look. I didn't know I was in survival. Anyway, so that's how you, how was I flying? That's interesting. That is how you create a config.yml and have information automatically loaded to it. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. It takes absolutely no time. It only takes a main class and a config file. And it's just so simple. I needed to have that out there because very few people know how simple it is, and they go through all this trouble trying to create all kinds of things, typing out, get config and then create section and then get section, create another section, and using dots for separators, and you don't have to do all that. Not for the defaults. For the defaults, it's just such a simple thing to just go ahead and make whatever you want, just type it out. Now, a section inside a section, there's always two spaces, just so that you know. And if you're going to have a list of things, the dash is at the same distance away. It lines up with the section start above it. So under name, if there was a dash, it would be right here. And then you'd have a space and then a value 13. Whatever. It'd be a list of things. So it might be a string of hello. And this would be, the name would be hello here. So that's basically how that works. I will make more tutorials about how to do advanced stuff in the plugins, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long. We've already almost spent 10 minutes explaining such a short and simple thing, but I wanted to make sure that it was really clear to you how to do it. All you need to do is save default config, and you have created, and create a config, of course, and you have created the simplest version, the easiest way of making a configuration file, and it's so good to have something like that built directly into Bucket for the players, for the users rather. So that's all for now. If you liked this, if it was helpful to you, please leave a like, comment, share this with your friends, show them that if they need help, I'm more than willing to help them. I love helping people, and Java is my specialty. So you guys have a great day coding, and I'll see you later.